Thank you so much. I think I'll just share a quick opinion from my own point of view. I think most of the pertinent issues that have already been talked about, and I think Mr. Kaya, fortunately he's no longer in there, he has managed to speak a lot on what we do and how we do what we do basically, especially on that topic. But just to quickly put everyone else on board on who we are, what we do, and what organization we represent. Yeah, I'm from TechnoMag. TechnoMag is a technology magazine based here in Zimbabwe. It's a purely online technology magazine, and I'm the founder of TechnoMag, and I work around a team of creative directors. We've managed to bring in lots of value-added services that have managed to make TechnoMag who it is and what it is today, in as far as the kind of support and creativity that we actually have from the team that is around us. So now, the question that I usually get from many people around me is, how often do you guys print? I've never seen TechnoMag. Where do I buy TechnoMag? And this is one question that I usually answer in too many times, when people are actually looking for a physical copy of TechnoMag. But up until now and today, TechnoMag has never run away, ever printed anything. TechnoMag is purely a technological magazine which has managed to make strides in the industry purely by just utilizing the opportunity that we find online. So it has been a very, very interesting journey for us to be able to come up with a sustainable company which can actually sustain, I think, many livelihoods, so to say. And if I'm to give just a rough number of employees and the number of students that we have, I think safely, like to date, I think TechnoMag is comprised of 12 fully employed employees. We run about 6 students on attachments. They all come at TechnoMag. They don't have to print anything any single day. They don't have to be we don't even need to be running any printing course. Not to say that it's a bad business model for us to be printing. It's actually something that we are actually thinking of doing, because I personally believe that once we have lots of these inquiries, when people are saying, when are you guys printing, when is your next print and all that, of course it's a question that may be coming out of ignorance, but to us I think it also speaks a message that there is a market and there is a need for us to actually sustain the print market. So I think that is something also that we may be considering, maybe in the long to short term period to come. So on TechnoMag, what we really do, TechnoMag is a purely technological magazine. What we do is we just disseminate technological issues, ICT related, science, ICTs, and the technological things that we basically come across each and every single day. And I've always enjoyed to share how we managed to start such a technological magazine. I think like what my colleague here said, I think the entrance of GSM in Zimbabwe, to us it presented a very, very big opportunity. Because a few years back, the availability of bandwidth and connectivity itself, not many people used to be connected. But because we know that we serve a community or a market of people who are easily connected, be it by mobile or maybe by fixed broadband, I think for us that was another serious opportunity that drives us to actually push content, because we know that once we've managed to create our content online, we can easily identify the market that will be able to consume this content. But for us, there is a technique that we've managed to use that has managed to make TechnoMag the brand that it is today. When we started TechnoMag, we never just started as a technological blog to say we are going to run a technological news website and then people are going to just come from nowhere, then they'll start reading TechnoMag. We used one powerful tool that we started using back then, when most media houses at that time, they were actually resisting it. TechnoMag was started purely on a social network. We launched TechnoMag on Facebook page. I think we managed to run for about 3 or 4 months without a technological website altogether. We had the Facebook page and the Twitter page complementing each other, just talking about all things tech. That's how we managed to create our own hype. So for us, how we started is we saw an opportunity in social media. Then we said, this is an opportunity that we can actually use and we can actually take to our own advantage. Then we started creating lots and lots of hype towards technological issues. Then we had many people engaging, talking back to us, giving us comments, views and all that. Up until we started the website. Today we can say, we are proud to say we have about, I can't remember the right figures. I think these guys can actually help me out, but we have got more than 24,000 fans on Facebook. We have got more than 5,000 fans on Twitter. So after we managed to create all these people now, creating a hype on social network altogether, then we said, you know what, we already have a market. So let's convert this market from social network into a market that can actually feed on our content on our websites. So with that in mind, we have personally, I'm of an opinion that social network was seriously resisted in most traditional media houses. I'm not quite aware when Alpha Media actually started their own official Facebook or Twitter handle. We're off with the Herald. I think I'm just talking, and even the daily news, all the top leading daily newspapers. Facebook was formed about 11 years ago. Twitter is way over, it was 2004, right? That's when Facebook was formed. But I don't know, when did AMH manage to create their first Twitter handle, Facebook handle? More than 2009. How many years was that after Facebook was actually formed? So I mean, that's a trend that we had in Zimbabwe. But I've always said that it was not only Facebook which was resisted by all these traditional media houses. For us, we used Facebook to launch our company. At the same time when we were using social network to launch our company, that was the same time when other companies were actually resisting social network. Why? Not just social network was being resisted at the same time when we launched ours. It was the whole technological aspect which was being resisted, because traditionally, I was once with the Herald. I think I was with the Herald for about six and a half years. That's when that was the only company that I served as a full-time employee. So during that time, when I remember very well the online team, they had a serious challenge. Even daily news, I think up until now, that they still have the same system. They cannot put their content as fresh as it is in the newspaper online. The logic is, once they put up their content on the website, people will stop reading the newspaper, they will not get the sales. If they don't get the sales, then they're out of business. So to them, the internet is actually fighting their opportunities. The internet is going to be eating in on their revenues. So they don't even want it. So to them, it's not an opportunity, it's a threat. So this is how we see things differently. When we saw the internet, we embraced it as an opportunity. And up until now, we are so proud that the internet helped us to launch TechnoMag. But even to date, traditional media houses, I think they still view the social network as a major threat to their viability. And I think we can also safely speak of the Herald, for instance. I'll just pick up examples that I know really off my head. When they started, I think they had a very small online team initially when they officially launched. But now let's look at the trends that they usually use when they're updating their website or the content. The online team, they are treated independently from the media house. I think this is the same issue also with AMH. They don't get to treat online team as part of editorial. These guys are more of people who are supposed to be working on the content after and only after the editorial team is done. And this is when these guys should now find and fit in the matrix to say how best we do A, B, C, or D, how best we fit in this inside the puzzle. But for us, it's different. We are purely technological in online magazine. What we do is, the same people are actually working on the content creation. These are the same people who actually know how best they are going to be able to push out the content to the reader. Even the way we write our text, the way we even do our search engine optimization, the way we even choose the ways to use in an article so that someone can easily Google or search them. You see, so we have managed to intertwine the two. But I think coming from a traditional print media house, I'm of an opinion that they've not managed to successfully join these two, and up until now, it's still being resisted as a serious threat to their viability. So I think for us, that's just the major difference, that we see a traditional online media house and a technological media house like TechnoMag. But just to quickly speak about social network, I don't think it's all about just a media house just joining Facebook or just being on opening a Facebook account or opening a Twitter account. There is more to it. What kind of techniques is your company using as far as the Facebook is concerned? What kind of tools are you using on Twitter? What kind of tools are you actually using to engage or respond to people? What kind of interactions are you getting? So all these things, it's not about you just being on the social network, but you're supposed to be there, know the kind of softwares, applications that you actually use or that you run each and every single day on your Twitter account. I mean, there are a lot of platforms you can talk of. Off my head, there's Hootsuite, TweetDeck. All these applications, they are different from the normal web version of your Twitter, which you just traditionally log in and then you see who's tweeting back to you or who's mentioning or what's trending. But once you use these professional software applications, they can actually improve the way you interact and communicate to your audience out there. So I think maybe this is one tool that we can also as well try to advise the traditional media houses to use. I understand AMH, they've been quite in the front as far as using. I know you use most of these applications as far as your social network interaction is concerned, but I don't know if any other media houses are already using all these applications, because it's not just about you joining Facebook or Twitter, but it's also about being able to know the tools that you have to use for you to be able to get a kind of reach that will give you good results. Besides the tools, there's also a very, very important aspect of technique. What kind of a technique are you going to be using, even if you have a tool? A good tool is as bad as the user if you don't know how to use that tool. So all these things, they need to be all applied together. There can be a training for you to be able to actually know how best you can use all these applications so that you get the kind of real quality and value from all these applications. So for traditional media houses, I think they just do not necessarily need to be on Facebook or need to be on Twitter and have these tools all together. But I think it's all about the techniques and the right way of actually using them. There's been an argument by one guy who has managed to create, I think it was, back then it was the fastest growing Facebook page, that was TechnoMag Zimbabwe. I had a conversation with this guy, Benjamin Juro. You know, his argument was, let's not talk about how many likes you have, what kind of numbers are you attracting on your Facebook page, but let's talk about the quality that you're actually gaining from that. He rightfully said that we've got 500,000 of likes on Facebook page, but how much are they actually able to convert into revenue? What kind of ways are you ready to use to convert that? You know, when you have about 500,000, if we had 500,000 of subscribers on any social network, to us it's too big for us to actually start creating new revenues. And you know, besides the issues of saying you have got 500,000, I think that's the major difference between us and they. I suppose they run a conventional news media house. So they're going to have someone who's going to log on to just see the story of Baba Juba. Someone is coming just to see Timbare updates. Someone's just coming in to just look at the hot gossip of the day. Now, for you to be able to actually convert that into maybe money or real revenue, it's a challenge. But when you look at our scope, the kind of people that we attract on a much more technological magazine, we are attracting experts, techies, knowledgeable people, decision makers who are going to make the next decision based on what opinion we are leading them on. So our crowd would even give us much more value than your crowd will give you. So I think basically this is an issue of quantity over quality. To say, yes, you've got 500,000 people, but what kind of value can you actually gain or extract from that kind of a crowd? We can talk of things like online on other revenue modes that you can use to gain more money online. Display ads, everyone is doing display ads in Zimbabwe. They are doing display ads, we are doing display ads, every media house is doing display ads. But how many companies are actually going out as far as doing Google ads, pay-per-view, pay-per-click? You've got 500,000 people. Imagine if all those people would click a certain story and then Google is rewarding you for that. How many companies are actually doing that in Zimbabwe? How many companies are being paid for pay-per-view? So there are many more revenues that we could actually use, that we are using, but maybe because we don't have the numbers that other media houses could be using. I know the Herald is as I'm speaking, is actually gaining in some couple of thousands of dollars just from pay-per-view. They've managed to implement the pay-per-view, pay-per-click, and they're getting quite a number of thousands of dollars from the system. But this is something that you can easily get by simply posting your story, Baba Jukwa and Must. You take that story, put it on your Facebook page. All these people are going to rush through, they click the link. Every click that goes through that link, Google is willing to pay for that. So let's not talk about 500,000 people which are not even able to actually convert into an amount. there are many ways that you can actually convert your normal standard viewers into revenues. So basically, I've got a timekeeper close to me. I can talk of revenue forms and many other issues, but the major problem that we've always seen and that traditional media houses have had that we don't usually have, I think we can talk of major issues of resistance. And like what Mr. Kaya rightfully said in the morning, when you bring in a young guy who comes in and then says, I've got this idea which I think can turn around this company, you are not seen as someone who's creative, but you are seen as someone who's going to bring a necessary havoc. You know, it's disruptive technology which will make some people, which will expose some people, or which will make some people go out of traditional revenues. You know, for example, I've been always saying, how much does it cost anyone to advertise, let's say a full page, I don't know, with Alpha Media Holdings? More than $2,000, full page color, more than $2,000. How much does it cost the same person to advertise on Alpha Media Holdings Newsday online per month? $700. Here's the logic. I put up my advert on Alpha Media Holdings on a single day, is $2,500. Maybe the right person that I'm looking for that advert has never even seen the paper on that day. But if I would convert that same advert for $700 and I put it on his website, it has 30 calendar days. I've got much more chance, even if the person missed the advert today, most likely he will come in the evening or the next day or even a week later on, he's still able to see that same advert. But today, if you say that to traditional media houses, you are seen as a threat and enemy. Why? Because they were told that they're only going to make money through advertising in print. So if you try and come through with an idea to say, let's try and increase revenues through online, I understand this job is a very difficult one. He's seen as a threat as well to the organization, this liability. So I think that's basically the opportunity that we've seen as an online technological magazine. Thank you.
I'm so sorry that you're sweating like this. I hope it's not me.
No, I'm all right.
Okay, I think some really interesting points, especially that he told John that your 500,000 followers need to convert to something. So it's quality over quantity. And then I think also just the revelation that, yes, we are speaking about being on social networks and utilizing them, but have we even thought about which one is the ideal one for our campaign or for our entity? And if we have, what techniques and tools are we using on that platform to ensure that we maximize it? And then, of course, he's talked about issues to do with pay-per-view. I think they were a revelation to quite a number of us. But also, I think I found what was also interesting is that whilst we're talking about sustainability of a media entity using social media, it's also a starting point for a lot of people. How do you launch your campaign? How do you launch your newspaper? How do you launch your radio station? So I'm going to open up the floor. I realized that we didn't have much in terms of citizen participation or engagement, something that should actually be of interest for a lot of media lobby groups that are here today. So I'll just open up the floor for some questions. Is there another microphone? Or is it just one?
Yeah.
Okay.